lost. Definitely not, in fact, I'd say. So,
No.
you know, we'll see Xiaoshan come in, see if he can do a little bit more. It is going to be EDG once again on the blue side. Bit of a shake-up in terms of bans, though. EDG banning away the Fiora specifically against Xiaoshan. And that's one of the things. This guy's been in your organization. You know what he's capable of. You know that he's able to bring out the Fiora and really perform on it. And TT will do something that I can only praise them for in banning the Zeri.
Yeah, well, they've done exactly what you've asked them to do. And EDG saying, look, we're banning away AD carries. We're going to ban away the Xayah or the Senna as well. So you've got things that can you know, really kind of set up. And the Kalista really is something that now kind of comes to the forefront. Do you ban it now? Do you take away the Wukong? Like, what way do you want to go with this one? Because the Viego's still up as well.
Yeah, there's still like the GP was something that was banned before that's been left open. Viego's open. I think EDG take Wukong here. If TT take Kalista, you just take Aphelios in return. And that's a really fine matchup. So I don't think that TT can take the Kalista here because you could easily just take Aphelios run out of the next rotation for EDG and put you in a difficult position. TT are toying with the idea of blinding Aphelios themselves, but to be honest, I feel like Aphelios is very comp dependent, so I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. But it does mean that EDG probably won't be able to pick up the Kalista themselves. They could go Ezreal here, honestly. I feel like an Ezreal angle would be decent into Aphelios. One of the big things that deals with Aphelios well is outranging him. Because obviously, even like other than when he's playing around with Calibrum, but even with that, he's kind of limited to people being up close and personal to him.
Yeah, the Jinx as well. Looks like the more things change, Zox, the more they can stay the same. If this is going to end up being locked in, I'm a little sad. I suppose, though, with 380 carry bans, it is to be expected. These are two very powerful late-game team-fighting carries that can just do. And again, for, you know, Viper, we know how good he can be on this pick with having that kind of guaranteed little bit of extra range. And when he gets onto ramping up with those resets, it can just become a monster in team fights.
Yeah, and going for the Nautilus as well, something that EDG did ban away in the first rotation last time. So got that point and click CC. Got a lot of engage potential. Good at setting up those kills, potential resets for the Jinx. Now for TT, question is going to be what will they end up taking here? They can go for a top laner, ban away counters, things like the Gwen, things like the Kayle. But to be honest, they do have potential counter pick. They could go for a mid. They could go for Ahri here, ban away like the Sandra Silas, and then have counter pick for Xiaoshan. And obviously EDG probably going to ban away maybe some of those counter picks that they're concerned about. Maybe ban the Kayle, but also could look towards the support role as well.
Yep, good luck to try and limit towards what you can take in this bot lane with the Aphelios. I do think the Nautilus pickup is nice. Of course, gives you a nice, decent engage. Can follow up with the Wukong as well. And we'll wait to see now where the side of EDG really want to try and focus in on right now. Because for TT, they are, again, they're on the back foot. They're 1-0 down in this particular matchup. And at the moment, they are just trying to see if they can give UCal something decent in this mid lane.
Yeah, and I think we've seen how prominent the Ahri can be, even with the nerfs coming in, even with the fact that we've seen this champion face some issues. Durability change, making it things tanky as well, harder to assassinate. And yet still Ahri is such a prominent pick, especially when these counters are mitigated and denied away.
Yeah, well, we'll see what they can end up going with. I will be totally honest with you right now. My feed is dead on the SRT, so I'm currently trying to troubleshoot that at the moment. So I'm going to have to ask you to...
Mine too!
Yeah, yours is also dead. Awesome. We're both blind as we come into this one. But yeah, we'll see what they end up kind of working towards. I will tell you that the LeBlanc has been banned because I'm now looking at the YouTube stream to try and make sure I can tell you what's happening in the picks and bans. But yeah, I'm gonna. You know what? You get yours sorted because the analysis can't really come out for you at the moment until that really happens for you. But we'll hopefully get our stream back up and running as soon as we possibly can. I do see the Gwen being banned away by EDG, so I am going to be about.
I'm back.
You're back. You do it. I'm gonna do it as well. You go for it.
Cool. Braum picked up pretty good matchup into the Nautilus. Can obviously deny away his ability just to go in because you'll get stunned, locked up. Very well synergizes with the Aphelios. He's able to quickly stack it up, especially with, like, you know, his Severum. Cool. We did see a support ban and a top ban coming out from EDG, kind of as expected. Looks like Scout might go for the Corki, so really playing to the range. You said a way of dealing with the Aphelios was keeping a distance. With the Braum coming in, you are lacking a decent amount of engage. And the Corki Jinx can just play at a distance. With that Gangplank as well, if Flandre locks it in. That is some hella scaling on the side of EDG.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Are you
You're
back?
Gonna have... Yes, I'm back. I'm back. We both made it. It's all right. We were just doing Lee Sin mode for a little bit there. We just needed to, you know, it was basically, it was a test, Ox. It was a test and we failed.
I'm going to take this on me. This could have been my moment just to predict what's going to be picked and banned without even being able to
That's
see.
what I was thinking. I was literally, it's a test for both of us to be like, what's getting picked? Who's going what? I'll be totally honest. I wasn't going to be very confident in seeing the Corky coming out for Scout. It is something that we have seen kind of picked up now and then, but it is a little bit more on the fringe side of mid lane as of the moment, but can do very well at just keeping the Ahri at bay. And now with the Kayle locked in, TT are kind of saying, look, we'll go winter scaling right now. We've got the Kayle, we've got the Aphelios and the Viego. We've got ways of moving in with this late game as comfortable as you are.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's why maybe EDG would have banned away the Kayle, because, you know, there's this counter pick potential. It's a good matchup in the GP. You will outscale. My problem is that EDG are just going to really outrange TT, and TT don't have good engage. Like, when you really think about it, their engage options are Yukal, ult forwards, and land a charm, which, you know, when the front line is Nautilus, Wukong, both of them can use, like, Wukong can WA, Nautilus can use his Q to buffer charms. The other one is just base run stunning on Viego. Neither are fantastic engage, I would say. Neither really give me too much hope with them finding a fight and getting on the back line. And outside of that, you're just going to get poked away from long distance. That is going to be the end result. I think you're muted, by the way, dude.
I am muted, by the way. I had a bit of a sneeze I had to get rid of. But I was just going to say that you are very much reliant on the side of EDG kind of coming forward into you surviving that initial engage and then kiting them backwards and then eventually getting a kill off of versus that. So it's not a lot outside of basically picks with the Ahri charm as such, but not really the greatest of setups you want to be going with yourself here for outside of TT. And this is... again, something that I've criticized quite a few teams in the LPL with is that when you draft these kinds of compositions, the lack of engage, the lack of simple engage, it can hurt you very much so in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, actually, I take it back. You know what's the best engage that TT have? It's Corky package. It's Scout Corky packaging into their own team.
We've seen Xiaohu do it. Xiaohu versus V5. He just fully committed. And
we've seen Doinby do it. LNG vs TT. Maybe TT are hoping for a repeat where Scout just flies into them and gives them a freebie. But remains to be seen. I think if EDG play it smart in the late game, I think it is very hard to TT to win, even with the Kayle. But if it gets messy, definitely angles for TT, right? If they can get on top of someone, land that Braum passive, they have a lot of people who can stack it up quickly. Kayle's obviously going to scale very well. We talk about level 16 being needed, that extra range being massive. I think it's even more so applicable here. But we'll see, because early pressure can still come out. Corky is going to be pretty inactive in the early levels. Viego Ahri is a strong combo. And a big thing is resets. If someone's out of position, you get a kill. That's a reset for Ahri, an extra charge and a roll. That's a reset for Viego, an extra use of his ultimate as well.
It's all about those resets for both sides as well. You get the reset onto the Jinxes. You can be very, very helpful. Be curious to see now how Flandre is able to bully out Kayle in this matchup. And again, this is Xiaoshang saying, look, I'm comfortable going into this. You are not really a champion in this matchup as the Kayle until level 6. You need that range just to create that distance and to safely get that fleet footwork to kind of, you know, get yourself into a good position to be able to trade back. Because right now, the Gangplank, especially with that passive on his auto attack, the empowered burn coming out, will just do so much for them.
Yeah, the nice thing is that, like, one of the things a lot of melee champions struggle with into the Gangplank is he sets up the barrels, and it's like, you can't deal with them, because if you get in range to auto them, you're liable just to get them, you know, blown up on you. Kayle does pre-6 still have that one ranged auto with the E, so if there is a big concern about a barrel combo potentially coming towards you, you can actually interrupt it potentially, which is something, but obviously still not very fun when that's your main CSing tool in the early levels as well.
Yeah, not exactly ideal. 14 wins versus 4 in the Wukong Viego matchup. He's now Beishuan. Does he try and flash over the wall here? He does, and he looks to try and make something work. He hasn't been seen just yet, but with how aggressive the bot lane of TT are being, Southwind and Puff are going to make something work here. Mako is going to get the Spider-Man and the flash. And you have no flash route here as Beishuan, so yeah, that was a flash.
Yep. That is just such a Beishuan special, by the way.
It is. He's done that a lot this split.
Yeah, I feel like it's something historically he's been known for, like flashing over walls to find these gank angles. So I respect it. I think it's Chad gameplay. Did manage to avoid that ward. I think EDG must suspect that that's what went down. So, you know, sometimes when you flash out of vision, it's like, oh, well, with it, they won't know. I mean, EDG are going to suspect the fact they had a ward, the fact they didn't see it, will assume. And as a result, they know they potentially punish Bayshon. One of the things with Viego is post 6, he's a bit harder to catch out because of the ultimate for pre 6. If he does overstep, can end up being a bit vulnerable.
Wait and see now, EDG. I don't know, probably recognize that there probably isn't a flash onto Bayshon if they're being astute with their assumptions. As we now wait to see now Scout. Just kind of keeping UCal busy in that mid lane. Now JJ coming in, but I don't think that UCal should be caught out by this, really. Bayshon is in the vicinity. It's more just to show pressure so Scout can maybe get a little bit of a reset. But even then, he's going to have to use his TP. Even with the first strike trying to come out right now, I don't think he's going to have a huge amount of gold coming in.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Corki. You are looking to scale. You're looking to get stronger in the late stage of the game. You can at the whim of your lane opponent early on, Scout TPing back in, and still being down in farm. So UCal doing a good job of making things a little bit difficult for him and not giving him just a freebie to get into the later stages of the game.
This is good from the side of TT. We obviously expect the top lane to be going in Flandre's favor. It is. There's nothing really else to talk about in that regard until we do see the level 6 come out for Xiaoshang. But they've got push in bot lane. They had push in mid. They are starting to kind of, you know, move around the map. And this is, again, something we've seen quite a few times from TT throughout the split. They are very solid when it comes to those early game proactivity and knowing when and where they can take trades. It's beyond that we always have to look towards. And for me, this is a good test for them. I think EDG are a team that they can take advantage of, or, you know, at least have a good moment against if the opportunity arises and presents itself.
And they needed this game. I cannot emphasize enough how painful it's going to be later on with Corki just firing those big rockets. And
yeah,
really talking about Corki, he is obviously we've seen him be super strong, kind of similar to Kale in some ways, and like he's a bit level based. Level 16 is really massive. Like all the power spikes to get your ult upgraded, because the thing is, you not only get an increase to the base damage of your ult, the AD ratio goes up. So obviously we know Corki likes to build Magic Pen and AD. It's because the AD ratio in his ultimate at level 6 it's 15%. At level 11 it's 45%, and then at level 16 it's 75%, and that's on a small rocket. And obviously the big one does double damage. So you know when we see like Doyenby play Corki and he's like super power farming, picking up all the waves, hits level 16 very fast, you get such a humongous spike at that point. That's when you get like the one-shot rockets coming through.
Yeah, that's when it really does start to hit. It's why one of the many reasons we do see Corki as the powerhouse late game carry that we all know and love. But Dragon going to be secured by TT, so good early progression for them in the Dragon department, or the neutral objective department, and they got it in plenty of time as well, so they're going to be in position to be able to contest for this first Herald should they choose to want to. And already we're seeing Xiaoshang saying, look, I'm set up for the long haul in this lane. I'm going to get myself the cull, just try and stack up as best I can. He is level 6, so at the bare minimum he's got himself a little bit of range, as we do have ourselves another pause coming in. It's always the EDG games. I don't know why, I don't know how. It just is. It's
always EDG. I don't know what's going on there, but once again, another pause. As you said, level 6 hit by Xiaoshang, so a little bit easier of a time in lane on the Kale now. Able to deal with the barrels a bit better, able to contest minions, have a bit easier time there. But still, the slower this game goes, the more concerned I am for TT. I think a slow pace is going to be painful for them. And they kind of need to make things happen. Bayshon's definitely trying. We saw that with that early gank bot with the flash over the wall. Hopefully level 6 is the big turning point. When you get access to the RE ultimate, when you get access to the Viego ultimate, the skirmishing becomes very strong. I want to see them picking up neutrals. They need to be just contesting those early dragons, securing them as soon as possible to force fights sooner before things become problematic. Ideally, if you get control of the pace of the game, it gets easier to engage. If you get control of an area and you set up vision there, and then you have the enemy team coming to you, that's where like you can have UCal play flanks on the RE. That's where it's harder for Corki to poke because he doesn't have vision of you. So I think if they can get ahead and get control of areas, that means that the lack of engage won't be as much of a problem.
Yes, and I think that's a lot of if, buts, and maybes coming out there for TT. But again, it comes down to proactivity. It comes down to them making and deciding the pace of the game. If they can keep Scout you know, dreaming of that level 16, not quite able to get quite to it, so he's off in a side lane rather than being closer to his team. That's where you can get opportunities. And I will say the first dragon was a Cloud Dragon, so you're not going to have a Cloud Soul. Could be a Hextech, could be an Inferno. I can't remember exactly what the second dragon was once it spawns, but this is an opportunity here for TT to really put the pressure onto EDG. And it is going to come down to kind of, you know, those movements, those moments to say, yes, this is what's going to work for us. This is not what's going to work for us. And the Aphelios is a great little bit, or the Kale and the Aphelios are a great little bit of late game insurance, but without the engage, they're not going to have a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, it's all about managing the hit. I honestly feel like if EDG got a Cloud Soul, it'd be really rough for TT, because when you're lacking engage already, enemy team having more movement speed is problematic. Hextech Soul would be a disaster because obviously the slows. Every time Corki rockets you, you get slowed down. How are you ever going to catch them? I really see, at least now with base run hit level 6, TT being more aggressive, going for that invade on the red buff, trying to make things happen. And we see on the opposite side, JJ is happy just to trade jungle camps. Obviously a red buff for Raptors is a bit different. But we do see, this is what Mako and Viper did last game. When the jungler's invading, they will look to just clear up camps on this side of the map so they don't end up losing out. And importantly enough, JJ actually left the little raptor. So Bayshron, he's going to have to clear this camp and waste time on it.
Looks like it's actually gone. Oh, no, it's not. There it is. I was like, where's he gone? He's hiding right at the back of it. So doesn't seem to have to waste that much time, but I do agree with you. It's a small little bit of jungle knowledge if you're not aware that you leave that little raptor up. It leaves it at a lower level, which means that it does not end up respawning the camp, which means you cannot get yourself higher and higher with it as such. But I'm going to see Bayshwan already on this Rift Herald, and this is exactly what you wanted to see TT do, is puff. Oh, that's unfortunate. The minion got in the way of Viper, and that saved him from an absolute chunk, as we can see. There's the Super Mega Jet Rocket. No way. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to get baited.
I feel like this would have been called when he's in vision. They'll say, you know, they won't let it happen. But TT, they got that first dragon. They get the first herald. This is definitely what they want to do, especially as it gets harder as the game goes on when Corki package is available. Does make it more challenging to pick those up. So getting that one in the bag soon means they can start to make plays, try and set up to get control of the map. The thing with the herald is if you can get it on a side lane, it's often possible to get a entire tier 1 tower. If you're not able to do so, sometimes slamming it down mid just to get 2 plates and thin that mid tower out can make a big difference. But I feel like for TT, you really want to get a big lead. You want to get an advantage. So finding a window where JJ's on the opposite side of the map, maybe where someone overcommits and you get a gank or you win a fight, slam the herald down and try and get a full tower for someone like Puff, someone like Xiaoxiang.
No, TT gonna have pushed to the spot side, and with no eyes on the mid lane or onto Bayshwan, you can tell now, well, they know he's here, but they don't really want to try and just defend this. They're gonna have to let it over a couple of these plates, and honestly, it might be the full tower if they're not careful. This could be a dive coming in right now for TT, but with a TP on Corki, makes it very difficult to really make it stick.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the problem, is that they go for this play, they don't really have a massive advantage. They don't get a kill on the Viper or Mako. So they just get some plates, and like, you know, it's gold. It's solid gold. Not going to complain about that, but they aren't really able to translate into that full tower, which is what you're kind of looking for. And if you look at the gold, EDG are still ahead despite that. Yeah,
again, Gangplank will be a little bit inflated because of his Silver Serpents, because of that. But yeah, it is a tough moment here for TT, because the longer the game goes, the harder it becomes to try and really make their mark. A minute till Dragon spawns, though, and that could be their second of the game, which would be nice if you're a TT fan. EDG happy to let this game go to the late game, and no one really picking up their first item just yet. You should have Flandre kicking up his first item very, very soon. But aside from that, TT happy to just try and keep pushing the wave pressure and get these resets denied. And
it's the most annoying thing, honestly.
It's just such a on such a low cooldown as well that it's like it does not matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And unlikely the Viper's going to miss that, not having that ultimate. The delayed reset timing for Puff, though, this is a potential window for JJ to get set up on this dragon area. The Skullcraft's going to be timing out soon. They know that TT aren't in a position where they want to fight because the AD carry's not there. And Scout is going to pick up the package. Perfect timing for the dragon. He picks it up a bit before it, so the cooldown will be available. Means he can clear this mid wave and be there to the dragon on time. We've seen a lot of mismanagements with package timing. I molded about it all the time in spring, but Scout doing a good job. And now they can probably just turn onto the dragon here. It's hard for TT to find a way in with that package there.
Yeah, this is the big engage that you were talking about. Very difficult to really make that stick. I will say, though, TT, not to be the ones that they have to fight at these objectives. I feel like they have to go for this. There's no real choice in the matter. Scout's going to try and take away this ward as they try and just move themselves down. But Xiaoshang is here. Remember, he has to be here because he doesn't have a global ultimate. Now he's lost his flash, but the package is down. So, TT, they lose the KO flash, but they gain a dragon. It's kind of what they wanted.
Yeah, you can see how tentative EDG were, but they just weren't willing to throw away the fight. They were like, okay, Thunder is getting free from the top lane. You know, we scale exceptionally well. There's no reason to flip it on a fight now and give TT what they want. It is actually going to be Hextech Soul. So
pretty big.
Quite a big one. If either team can secure that, the slow can make a big difference in terms of getting on your target. But now JJ caught out.
Oh, JJ, he's going to try and maybe get away with this one, but he just can't. And Cal picks up first blood. Nice combination by the TT mid and jungle.
Yeah, just caught sleeping there. I mean, the expectation is you're playing Wukong, you're just impossible to take down. Not actually true. And Cal has the ability to chase down. Scout getting a ton of gold from first strike there. Managed to get a big chunk out onto Cal. But yeah, EDG have made it very clear by their play around these objectives that they are kind of just looking to scale in this one, which I think is the correct call. But TT are definitely trying to push the pace forwards in this game. And the fact they have those 2 early dragons at a decent pace does put them in a good spot.
No, Xiaoshang looking to try and trade on the Flandre, but he'll have an orange and he'll BK. And again, Xiaoshang, I gotta say, honestly, Xiaoshang moving down was the correct call. Bit unfortunate that he ends up... Oh, I stopped myself there talking about Xiaoshang as Mako gets stunned up. There's the Moonlight Vigil coming out with the Infernum. Just to do some more damage. This is, again, just to get pressure. So the damage done earlier by the Rift Herald should be answered in full, as TT should be able to get themselves this full turret.
Yeah, interesting that Beachman actually resets when he could have stayed to help them secure it.
That's what I thought he was going to do, and now I look like a fool. A fool, Ox.
Yeah, and they wouldn't even... Will they get this play?
No.
No. So, pretty unfortunate. Looking for Cal.
Ooh. You know what? He got out. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, not quite the correct direction we're looking for, but he didn't die. He didn't have to burn his ultimate, but obviously flashed down. But I feel like with Ahri, flash is a great tool, but you're not punished as much as other champs not having it just because you have your ultimate available. Yeah,
well, he didn't have his ultimate in that last one. Finally, the plate will go down for Puff, because he does pick up that little bit. But again, the gold isn't really shifting anywhere. Dead even, which again suits EDG. They've got the Triforce now on the Flandre, so he's a pretty strong boy up on that top side. They are going to have the first items being picked up by everybody else very, very soon. But with 20 seconds till this Rift Herald spawns and an Everfrost Divine Sunderer onto Beishuan and Cal, you're not really going to look to try and contest this as EDG. I feel like you're walking into exactly what TT wants.
Yeah, first tower taken by TT. Now finally got a bit of a gold lead. Ult's going to come down and actually miss Puff so they don't stop the reset.
Ooh,
EDG are fishing for plays though here. Kind of feels like they're more willing to fight for this second Herald and deny it away from TT. Keep their mid tower alive. Often we see second Herald thrown down mid just to break that mid tier 1, which is such an important objective in terms of maintaining control over the map. It looks like EDG do not want to give that over to TT.
I mean, Puff is coming back in with a Gale Force. He's in a big item spike, but they will land on Southwind, who gets a Glacial Fissure across 3 members. Cannon Barrage just got to separate everybody out. Southwind's ticking, but he does not die. Rift Herald resets, and that's important for TT, but they're not really in a position to contest any further. So they kind of just lose out on a couple of ultimates and back themselves away.
Yeah, that was enough. They managed to get the damage down, and TT are fishing, but I'm not sure they're going to really be able to find anything here. Herald is secured by JJ. The mid tower is defended as well by Scout. TT weren't able to do anything on it. And even Scout's going to come and try and defend the Raptor camp as well. Beishuan will smite it away, but Scout hits that level 11 point. So a bunch of extra damage on those rockets, but still looking to scale up even more.
Yeah. And again, this is just going to slow down what TT want to do. You really would have liked to have that second Rift Herald to maybe dictate the pace of the Dragon in a minute's time. That's going to be the big thing here for TT. If they can get that up to Soul Point, that's a moment where they could maybe try to, really kind of dictate the pace. But EDG, with that Rift Herald, should be able to pop that into mid or maybe even bot if they, depending on where they end up approaching the Dragon Pit. And it shouldn't be too hard for them to be able to try and, get control of that pit.
And this is probably the big one, right? Because third Dragon, EDG do not want to give over. They're going to have packets synced up. If TT are able to find this one, it really puts a lot of pressure on EDG. It means they're one away. And at that point, if EDG approach a dragon, and let's say someone gets picked, they can't just give it up. They can't just say it's fine. We'll just give this dragon. Because once they give over soul to TT, it's such a massive power spike. You can see TT posturing early. Scout is recalling for the package. He can just TP in with it to make sure he's there in time. And we'll see if he opts to go for that.
And we'll just have the cannon barrage at the nick of time. Remember, you've no flash on Southwind, but everyone else is there. The TP's going to come in after the package has been secured. Xiaoshang finally coming back down. He's got himself a Gnasher's Tooth as TT. They want to try and make this fight work, but you can see already they're caught between a rock and a hard place. Beishuan just gets himself over the wall, and they get the Super Mega Det Rocket coming in. Xiaoshang comes in to save Southwind, who's still going to fall down because he's just been slowed to absolute stun range, and that's going to be the Rift Herald dropped as well. It's a good Infernum ultimate there from the side of Puff, but not really much else to do, and you feel like the clock's already up on TT.
I mean, the fact Scout can ult package in like that. Oh, Puff!
Oh, he's going for it, but he's not quite able to make it stick. Now Xiaoshang thinking about it, but you have to be careful. There's still a Jinx doing significant damage onto you, and you get hit by one barrel, you're dead.
Yeah, it's so scary, and the fact Scout can package in like that and not get punished at all just shows how little threat TT are posing to him right now. In fact, he can just package across multiple members, and again, it was just TT running away. I mean, it was a really nice package at the choke point, but yeah, typically we see Corki's going for plays like that get instantly deleted on the other end. Scout just finds his angle. He knows the posturing on the other side of the wall, knows there isn't anyone to punish him. Huge package, just shreds Southwind and Puff. Beishuan has to ult away as well. And then, yeah, the KO ult comes in to delay this kill on the Southwind. But the damage is already done. There's no fight here. TT just have to back away.
And again, it's the lack of hard engage. The TT are really struggling right now. They don't have an easy way to get in onto this fight. They don't have an opportunity to kind of say, look, you're out of position. You have to respect the CC. Because outside of the Glacial Fissure, which is a very much a disengaging ultimate, you don't really have any way to lock people down. It would have to make a massive mistake where someone gets charmed for TT to be able to take them down.
Yes, I mean, honestly, the Glacial Fissure, it's decent secondary engage. Like, if you lock someone up, you can ult on top, but, like, it's just so slow. Like, no one on EDG is going to get hit by, like, Southwind just, like, flash ulting. It's just way too easy to avoid. And EDG, they've taken that dragon. It is at minimum for them an extra 5 minutes scaling. Even if TT pick up the next dragon, you know, they're still not going to have the soul. But EDG feel a lot more comfortable. And honestly, Hextech dragons individually, I actually think are such a massive boost. It's 6 ability haste and 6% attack speed. And there's certain champions where it's so massively beneficial because they love both stats, right? Because obviously the reason they went for this was for, you know, AD champions, you have attack speed. For AP champions, you have ability haste. Then you have champions like Corki or Gangplank or Wukong who love both stats.
Well, Scout's getting jumped on here, and Yukong's going to try and jump in on top of him as well. But the Hex Drinker, almost good enough. And the Super Mega Det Rocket not quite able to hit. But good pick off here for TT. But what do they have to try and give up because of it? They have to try and... Don't think they're going to be able to kind of contest for this mid lane and get that tower, but they are starting to try and make moves against EDG.
It's a positive play, and we need more of that, right? Finding picks on people who are isolated, picking them off when they're in scenarios like that. Interesting, I've seen the Serelda's Grudge coming out from Flandre, so getting that early percentage pen. The slow, obviously not the most important thing when you already have slows on your barrels, but yeah, Scout just looking to get more First Strike Gold, a bit overextended. They know he doesn't have Flash from that previous fight, and Yukal able to connect the Everfrost to take him down.
See just the power of the Hex Drinker, though, as well. Just giving that a little bit of extra time, and it almost saved him off. And despite that little kill onto the side lane, you don't really gain much of it. And this is something that I always use as a bit of a... I suppose a litmus test to see, you know, the difference between a good team and a great team, because great teams will get a pick and they will turn it into an objective. It will turn into a tower, a baron, even just like massive vision control over an area. TT, however, they've got a ward in a brush down that bot side. That was it. They just get the kill gold, so it doesn't actually equate into much more than that. And that's why we do see end up seeing why, you know, a pick on a side lane for a team like EDG is far more impactful than a pick on a side lane for TT.
Yeah, and at this point, with dead even in gold at 21 minutes, I felt like TT had to get that early lead, and they haven't been able to find it. Things are just going to get harder and harder from here as long as EDG plays it out correctly. We see TT posturing, and this has been a consistent thing throughout this game. Posturing, looking to be in position to fight, being like, right, if you guys misstep, you guys over push, we'll kill you. And then EDG are like, okay, then that's not.
Just don't fight,
and
yeah.
that's it.
That's literally it. And then, yes, you have a Kale, obviously going to have great scaling, but a Kale needs facilitators. A Kale needs someone to be a front line, to be engaged. Like,
I feel like more than anything, a Kale needs someone to hit, and as long as EDG don't provide that, what's she doing?
Oh, Flandre. That's a flash away. They're going to see the Heartbreaker come in. He's going to need an orange, so he'll be K. Xiaoshang not quite there. There's going to be the Cannon Barrage flash forward with the Glacial Fissure and the Winter's Bite, and Xiaoshang gets a pick. So with 50 seconds till the Dragon spawns, that could be an opportunity now for TT.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good pick, and this could potentially lead them to this Dragon. Flandre does have TP, but no Cannon Barrage does weaken him a decent amount, although that cooldown is ticking away very fast.
Yeah, it's a lot faster than I thought it was. He actually picks up a Sorelda's Grudge and going to force EDG up towards that top side. Yukal is playing keep away from the Baron, so they can't trade that one just yet. And Xiaoshang's going unchecked right now, so he should be able to pick up a tier 2 at minimum in this bot side. So they are getting them objective, and this is great for TT. They're kind of accelerating the game a little bit faster than EDG anticipated.
Yeah, good positives, making things happen. The problem is, Dragon in 10 seconds, Flandre is going to be up. Look at the item scout is just completed. He recently got the Ludens. He's also just picked up Sork Shoes. This Corki is going to be hitting hard right now. A lot of poke damage, and sure, you have Puff, where's the Bloodthirster to be able to sustain up, but not everyone has that same luxury.
No, you do not have that luxury. I will say Wit's End finished up for Xiaoshang, and they might not look for the Dragon at all. They might say, cool, the Wukong's on it. Let's go for the Baron. They can shred this, but they haven't got great guns right now. It's grabbing them in a...
Scout!
Oh, Scout gets caught! He got caught! And that means he's dead. And now Mako trying to run away, but the Heartbreaker means that he is dead. They've got the Nautilus as well. Scout, what happened?
You had Package, and they were just approaching without concern. Yukal finds a fantastic charm from the Fog of War. They layer the CC, and they're able to remove the Corki. That is the sort of play they need. I was talking about Yukal being on those angles with the RE, maybe being something they could lean on. They find it, and they manage to translate. And TT with the Baron, it's giving them life in this game.
It gives them an awful lot more opportunities, that's for sure. They'll have a bit of pushing power now. You cannot let this Kale go unchecked. They will say they lose the Dragon, but let's have a look at the replay here. What happens to Scout here? It's just that he's just not expecting Yukal to be there, and yeah, he just gets caught.
Yeah, just completely caught out.
We're gonna see it again.
See it twice, just to make it very clear. And the thing is, you have the package. If he saw Yukal could easily buffer the charm, even if next, once you're in the package, you're not going to be able to be CC'd. But yeah, big mistake from Scout that will cost him the Baron. But the other side of it is they got the Dragon. So TT nowhere closer to getting that soul, and now on par with EDG. And EDG have good wave clear, right? Between the Corki and the Jinx, those ranged AoE auto attacks, the rockets from Scout. If they can just weather the storm for this Baron, I don't think this is awful for them. But it really comes down to TT continuing to find picks to set up tower takes. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, like the Baron is nice. The Dragon did go over to EDG though. So again, 10 minutes or a little bit under that. So about 8.5 for you to really get that soul. The Baron will give you an awful lot of opportunities, but you have an awful lot of wave clear. Gangplank barrels, the Corki rockets, the Jinx rockets. You have so many ways of dealing with these minions that I don't think they're going to get a huge amount of value from it. I will. At the moment, though, they are getting the Xiaoshang to kind of push up towards this top side to put down a little bit of damage, and alongside the Aphelios should be able to put some decent damage, but the Cannon Barrage is great. Again, this is the big difficult thing. Honestly, I like the play from TT, but what does it actually afford them?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things is why we don't see casting so much recently in pro play. I mean, there's plenty of reasons, but scaling champions
this
without
is one of
wave
them.
clear can really be punished, right? But the fact is, when you have a Corki, he scales well and has wave clear, so even if you're trying to close the game out early, it becomes difficult. TT get the Baron, and they get one tower so far. You know, it's not nearly as much as you'd hope to get. But
oh, Scout! He might be caught out here. He flashes. Yukal, though, needs to be careful of some of those rockets. And Scout this time around will end up flashing away from that particular pick. And that could have been huge for TT. They had about 40 seconds left on Baron. You take away that big wave clear, then all of a sudden, that's one tower becomes maybe two and an inhibitor.
Yeah, and so with the Baron, you can see in the top right, they got quite a bit of gold. There's the gold from the Baron itself. There's the tower they took in the top lane. They also get experience from it, which definitely won't go amiss when you have a Kale. But that's kind of it, right? Yep. It's nice. It's definitely positive. I'm not sure if it's enough in this game to really dictate it. Flandre going with like a full ability haste build here with the Ravenous Hydra and the Sorelda's Grudge. I'll be honest, something I haven't really seen on Gangplank Definitely seen a lot of builds, some good, some less
questionable. For sure. You've definitely had choice words depending on it. I do remember, I can't remember who it was. Someone was playing Lucian and they ended up with a Zeal, a Last Whisper, a Hex Drink. Yes, it was light.
It was light, and the enemy team was playing Cog Lulu, and the Cog had a Randuin's, and like everyone else was mega tanky.
It was honestly one of the worst builds I'd ever seen, but
one of the worst builds you've seen so far.
We're going to keep that as a theme for the split. So we do see TT, 3,000 gold up, 3 items now onto Xiaoshang, level 16. They are posturing very aggressively to try and maybe catch someone out as they try and establish vision, because honestly, you don't have a lot right now as EDG. You're waiting to see if you can get into the position to try and contest for this dragon, but I will say as well, EDG kind of afforded them this luxury. They don't really care. As I say that, there's going to be the Everfrost, there's going to be the Cleanse coming out, they get a charm down, but it's only onto JJ's clone. That's going to secure the mid-tower in this particular instance, and TT, they're getting a bit antsy, and EDG, they're kind of sitting on the laurels a little bit.
Yeah, it was a nice move from JJ using his clone to kind of body block for Viper, who could have been caught out there. But the problem is, TT are doing what they should. They get control of the area early, and then they're forcing EDG to try and face check in a vision to find these engages. Now, Scout has just picked a package. TT take quite a bit of damage there, thanks to the Cannon Barrage. And I mean, Scout isn't even here yet with the poke. He's going to pick up the package and TP in as soon as it's ready, and he's going to cause a lot of issues for TT. Oh, look at the flank, look at the flank.
Huge flank coming in. Does he look to try and engage? Yes, he does. They've landed it down there onto Southwind, but the Aphelios has been taken out. You've lost your jungler and your Kayle. I don't think that was the correct ultimate target with Xiaoshang. I think you should have been looking at your Aphelios.
Yep. Doesn't end up saving the right person. At the end of the day, it just wasn't even close. Fantastic flank angle for Scout. And not only do they get a team fight win, they'll also pick up a 3rd dragon. Now working with 18 extra attack speed, 18 extra abilities. Fantastic for EDG, and 1 away from that salt. Yeah, goodbye, Southwind.
Go on, Southwind. Go on, my wayward son. No, wayward plays for top esports, but honestly, I love this from Scout. I love this from Scout. He's staggering it. He's staggering it. He's basically making it so that it will take it, like, again, you're looking at what would be 10 seconds to Xiaoshang. It's 30 seconds to Southwind, so you can contest.
Yeah, I mean, Baron's going to be up before Southwind is. If EDG wanted to posture towards a get vision control, there's no support for TT. There's no one to put down vision to contest. And here, the fact TT already chunked out, they get corralled in here by the package. Great engage flash onto the Aphelios, and yeah, Xiaoshang. I'm not sure that ult on the Southwind was the play.
I don't think it mattered, but I don't think it was the play.
Here's the good news, Ashin. If TT lose this game, then Xiaoshang can't get subbed out. So,
I mean, by definition,
there's no game
you are
3
correct.
for Hoya to come in for.
That is true. Big brain. Xiaoshang getting the last word in against his old organization. But, yeah, TT, funny enough, still have the gold lead right now as the EDG set themselves up around this Baron pit, try and see if they can make something happen for themselves. And TT, they got it. Honestly, they're looking for a miracle. They need Xiaoshang to try and pop off. It's going to be tough.
I think the difficulty is just the lack of engage. If they're not able to close the distance, it's going to be super problematic. And I am currently having some issues with my feed.
I'm also having issues with my feed, so we're going to try and get those refreshed as soon as we possibly can. We do apologize again. The luxury of remote broadcasting, we're trying to make improvements, but of course, there's always going to be some little bugs every now and again. But yeah, again, it's going to be pivotal moments here for TT to try and keep themselves safe. I hope there's not a fight. I really do hope there's no fight happening. So again, apologies to anyone watching. I imagine there's going to be a lot of posturing on no one really going for anything. That's what I'm assuming.
Oh my god, what a play from whoever made a play.
This is it. This is how we anticipate it. But yeah, we do apologize for the moment. We are casting Lee Sin mode at the moment. So I'm gonna go on to back onto my YouTube feed and hopefully see what nothing has happened as of 30:34, and the viewers can now know how far behind I am. That's how you work it. That's how you work it out. You know. That's how you end up kind of figuring it all out. But yeah, we do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We are trying our best to figure this one out. But yeah, as of now, they're still only just posturing, you know? Don't worry about it. Don't worry
Oh,
about
dude,
it.
I'm looking at the Twitch stream and it's ahead, and there's a lot of fighting going on my
Is there?
screen.
Oh,
I'm be
dear.
so delayed on. Oh my
I'm not even gonna bother.
Southwind got killed ulted again. I swear he's received the most Kale ults this game. It's just been all about save Southwind.
Save Southwind. Save Private Southwind.
Oh my lord.
You have to laugh, because if you don't laugh, you cry.
I'm crying. Tears down my face right now. Dude, we're missing TT against EDG.
Chat, I need you to commentate what's happening for us, all right? It's a role reversal right now because we're trying to figure out what's going on, right? We do apologize that we're not able to cast the game. But you guys need to tell us what's happening, you know? That's what's going on. So I'm going to look at the chat real quick. I never look at the chat, by the way. It's not something I do. You guys got to commentate, let us know. Maybe we'll find the next, you know, the next Captain Flowers within our own chatbox.
Oh my God.
I can tell how tilted you are. But yeah, we're coming back in. Look, you know, Southwind getting a lot of K-loads. I think that's positive. I think that's positive for him.
Is it?
You know? I mean, it's positive for him. For sure, it's positive for him. It's
I don't even know if to comment on what's happened, just because like at the end of the day I'm so delayed. Well, EDG obviously got the Baron. That's something to talk about. I'm assuming just with the feed being a bit ahead, they're gonna be close to setting up for this dragon. Poke's a pivotal piece. If UCal can find a flank angle, maybe that's the play. Maybe that's the way in. We'll see if that can happen.
Yeah,
Maybe that's already happened. I don't know.
Maybe it has already happened. You know, I did see Viper burned his cleanse quite a while ago, so that's not going to be available for this dragon in potentially 20 seconds. No, it wouldn't be that delayed, would it? It would be that far behind. No, probably would be actually.
I don't know. I don't normally check.
Yeah,
you know.
I don't look at Twitch at all when I'm casting. It's just not within my nature, so I'm going off of it right now. But thank you, chat. Chat's actually going with it and you know, letting us know what's going on. I can tell you, chat, if I'm looking at Twitch compared to our usual feed, I'm about 33:10. That's where I'm at right now. So you can figure out based on that that assumption where exactly how far behind we are. But
oh, my feed's doing something. It's gonna work.
Oh, well, mine's dead. So I'm gonna rely on you for play-by-play if that's the regards.
It's not working yet. It's just doing something. Oh,
tell us what's happening. Commentate it.
With Twitch, the scout has secured the Hextech Soul, and finally we got a good KO onto Puff, but it meant nothing. And it looks like EDG just gonna close this one out. They secure the skull. Scout stole it. Oh my. Okay, now my Twitch feed died.
It's all good. It was an ace. There's nothing else to talk about. Thank you, Twitch chat, for telling us everything that you need to know. We got to experience it with you. EDG will take themselves a 2-0. TT will fall to 1-4. And we're hopefully going to fix these tech issues in between these next series.
Oh, man, I hope so. That was something. We just missed the end of the game, but...